support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. Joining us right now is Congressman Al Green of Houston. Congressman Green, you were one of the very first people who called for Donald Trump to initially be impeached. There were a lot of Democrats who said you were wrong for doing that. Eventually, he was indeed impeached. He was not convicted by the United States Senate. Now we see what happens when people play games, when they don't take tweets seriously, when they don't take his threats seriously. This is the result of people, especially a lot of Republicans, but even some Democrats, for playing games and saying, it really wasn't that big of a deal. Just let him say what he wants to say. Nothing is going to happen.
Yes, thank you for having me on, Roland. I greatly appreciate it. You are eminently correct. There were persons who were saying, oh, that's just Donald. Let Donald be Donald. No harm, no foul. But the president was consistently weaponizing hate. And he did it in all of its invidious forms. He did it with anti-Semitism, racism, xenophobia, Islamophobia, homophobia, all of these various insidious phobias. The president, while he was doing all of this, we were unfortunately not taking it seriously enough. But having lived in the segregated South, I'm a son of the segregated South, I know what hate sounds like. I know what it smells like. I was forced to go to the back door and go into those filthy waiting rooms. I know what it looks like. I've seen the anger on the faces of people who were chasing me for no reason at all. I know what it looks like. So when this started, it became very apparent to me that there would be a day of reckoning. And that day of reckoning was January 6th. Unfortunately, some people have lost their lives, and I regret that. Unfortunately, our democracy was assaulted in a way that we've not seen in my lifetime. And unfortunately, there was a takeover on live television of the Capitol of the United States of America. Gil Scott-Heron said, you know, the revolution will not be televised. Well, the insurrection was. We saw in living color on television an insurrection that ended with the Capitol being taken over. Thank God we were able to reclaim it quickly and continue our business.
The thing here that is amazing to me is that, and we showed the video, folks, if y'all can show that again, of them using an American flag to viciously beat a police officer. Another police officer died as a result of being beaten by these folks. The previous video we showed of them trying to tear down the door to get to the speaker's lobby. I mean, for any of these people to assert that this just sort of got out of hand. Capitol police officers, black Capitol police officers, talked to BuzzFeed and said they were called the N-word. The people there had radios. Yeah, they said this was an orchestrated, organized attempt to lead a coup d'etat in this country. Congressman Tim Ryan is saying 2 Capitol police officers have been suspended. One has been arrested, one for taking a selfie, another one for putting on a MAGA cap and ushering people into the Capitol. That has to greatly concern you that you actually had individuals who were there to protect folks like you who literally were joining these white domestic terrorists.
Well, there really has to be further investigation. We need to know who was aiding and abetting, taking selfies. I'm not sure that that's what you do when you have a mob that is trying to harm people and destroy property. But I would mention this to you because I think it's exceedingly important. The reason that they came with such vengeance and to do it in such a way as to almost dare the officers to respond was because of white privilege. People who have enjoyed white privilege understand that when they're stopped by the police, they can say, give me your badge number. What's your name? I'm reporting you. We, on the other hand, understand that we've got to keep our hands free and off the wheel and let people know that we're not doing anything, we're not a threat. There's just a different standard. And they in their minds have this standard that they, because of who they are, they can do things like take over the Capitol and do it what they thought would be with impunity. But I think that they're going to be, many of them, prosecuted for what they've done. But I'm grateful for what you just said about the way they were behaving and how many of members of the constabulary were out there seeming to assist, aid and abet. That has to be investigated.
The other thing is this here, your Republican colleagues all of a sudden, oh, we need to have healing, these actions, impeaching Donald Trump again. Democrats, that's divisive. Removing him from Twitter, that's divisive. All you're going to do is further inflame his supporters. Y'all, show the video again. What the hell? I mean, these people, this further inflame? I'm sorry, that's inflamed. That's let me look at the menacing walk. Look at how they behaved. So what the hell do we have to lose? Because they've already shown how thuggish they are. The FBI is, I mean, look at this. They were dragging away barricades that were there. They were hell-bent on storming this Capitol and said barricades be damned. Also, the FBI is now warning that these people are saying they're going to march on state capitals, armed marches. These folks are nuts. They are white domestic terrorists. And I'm sorry, I don't want to hear a damn thing from any Republican about how Democrats are not going far enough.
Well, 2 points. The first is I completely agree. It was madness. And the second is you and I know that there's something called I'm in fear of my life, and I had to defend myself, even when certain people are running away. What happened to fear for life? If not yours, others. What happened to that? Now, a good many of the officers, I have to compliment them for what they did. But those people, it was very clear that they had intentionality associated with harming the physicality of people. It was very clear. When you start throwing the barriers away the way they did and approaching them in an aggressive fashion with various things in your hands, there was a noose, by the way, out there on a gallows. Persons had on shirts that were indicating that they were anti-Semitic. These are the kinds of things that they, unfortunately for all of us, can get away with because of white privilege. By the way, I didn't want a lot of people killed. I just want to contrast what happened here to what happens with Black Lives Matter. If these had been black folk out there, and President-elect Biden has said as much, if these had been black folk out there, you would have seen a different response to that kind of behavior. I guarantee it. I'd put my head on a chopping block. You see a different response, and we have got to make sure that we contrast this so that we can tell people that we demand respect for black lives, just as white lives have privileges. Black lives have to matter.
Congresswoman Cori Bush has introduced a bill saying that the folks who incited should be expelled. Senator Sheldon Whitehouse has said the exact same thing about Ted Cruz and Josh Hawley in the United States Senate. What do you believe, Congressman Al Green, should happen to these members of Congress, Republicans, who posted things on social media, who made comments? You've got the new congresswoman out of Colorado who posted on that day 1776. These people, these Republicans, they were egging this on. They were pushing this. They wanted this to happen. And damn their tweets of, we are so sorry to see the officer die, and we're so sorry to see this. No, they were willing participants in this insurrection, in this attack on democracy in the United States.
Those who delivered incitive comments have to be dealt with. You can't promote something like this and do it with impunity. We have to deal with those incitive comments. And I'm told that one member made some comments that were just exceedingly beyond the pale. Well, we've got to deal with that. And if it's censure of some kind, I'm not entirely sure what the resolution would require other than an investigation. Ultimately, the decision will have to come before the House. You might recall we've had persons censured for other things who've said things on the floor of the House, and they were not nearly to the extent of being invidious and insidious as what's been said at this rally. or pardon me, this act of domestic terrorism, insurrection, if you will. So I think that there has to be a penalty, and it has to exceed what we say on the floor of the House when we're penalized.
Congressman Al Green, Congressman Ben Thompson was supposed to be with us, but apparently there's an immediate Democratic caucus call, so you probably might want to jump on that call. We certainly appreciate you joining us. Always good to have my Alpha brother on the show.
Honor to see you, and look to see you in Houston.
Yes, sir. Thank you so very much. We appreciate it. Thank you so very much. Folks, back to that Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just
It's time to be smart. When we control our institutions, we win. This is the most important news show on television of any racial background. Y'all put $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, $15, $20, $30 on this and keep this going. What you've done, Roland, since this crisis came out in full bloom. Anybody watching this, tell your friends. Go back and look at the last 2 weeks, especially of Roland Martin Unfiltered. I mean, hell, go back and look at the last 2 days. You've had sitting United States senators today, Klobuchar and Harris. Whatever you can bring to Roland Martin Unfiltered to support it, please do, because this information may literally save your life.
Watch Roland Martin Unfiltered daily at 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, or Periscope, or go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.